Hello everyone and welcome again to my How To Education channel. As I promised you last week, today we're gonna go over how to ace economics working with elasticity part 1. After watching this video, don't forget to leave me your feedback. By now, we already know that a higher price will lead to a lower quantity demanded and a higher quantity supplied. The question is, will the quantity demanded decrease by the same amount as the price increased? Also, will the quantity supplied increase by the same amount as the price increased? The answer to these questions lie in the understanding of the concept of elasticity. Elasticity is an economics concept that measures responsiveness of one variable to changes in another variable. In other words, elasticity is the concept used to verify if a change in a certain variable x will cause a higher, lower, or same amount change in a variable y. Thus, we can conclude that price elasticity is the concept used to verify if a change in price will cause a higher, lower, or same amount change in quantities demanded and supplied. Price elasticity is equal to the percent change in quantity, be it supplied or demanded, over the percent change in price. In order to calculate the price elasticity, we use what we call the midpoint formula. Before explaining how to find the price elasticity formulas for demand and supply, let us go over the midpoint formula used to find the percent change in quantity. The percent change in quantity demanded is equal to the new quantity demanded minus the old quantity demanded divided by half the sum of both quantities demanded. And the percent change in quantity supplied is equal to the new quantity supplied minus the old quantity supplied divided by half the sum of both quantities supplied. The percent change in quantity demanded formula is used when the quantity demanded changes from one value to another, and the percent change in quantity supplied formula is used when the quantity supplied changes from one value to another. Let us now go over the midpoint formula used to find the percentage change in price. The percentage change in price is equal to the new price minus the old price divided by half the sum of both prices. This is the formula used when the price changes from one value to another. After studying both of the formulas, we can now go over the midpoint formula for the price elasticity of demand and the midpoint formula for the price elasticity of supply. As seen before, price elasticity of demand is equal to the percent change in quantity demanded over the percent change in price. Thus, it can be written as price elasticity of demand equals to the new quantity demanded minus the old quantity demanded divided by half the sum of both quantities demanded over the new price minus the old price divided by half the sum of both prices. The same logic is followed with regards to the price elasticity of supply. As seen before, price elasticity of supply is equal to the percentage change in quantity supplied over the percentage change in price. Thus, it can be written as price elasticity of supply is equal to the new quantity supplied minus the old quantity supplied divided by half the sum of both quantities supplied over the new price minus the old price divided by have the sum of both prices. The price elasticity of demand and the price elasticity of supply can be divided into three different categories. We can speak about elastic demand or elastic supply, or we can speak about unitary demand or unitary supply, or we can speak about inelastic demand or inelastic supply. If when finding the price elasticity of demand or the price elasticity of supply, the answer is greater than 1, we say that the demand or the supply is elastic. An elastic demand or an elastic supply indicate that when the price increases, quantity demanded will decrease by a higher amount and quantity supplied will increase by a higher amount. In addition, when the price decreases, quantity demanded will increase by a higher amount and quantity supplied will decrease by a higher amount. In other words, there is a high responsiveness of quantity to the change in price. If, when finding the price elasticity of demand or the price elasticity of supply, the answer is exactly equal to 1, we say that the demand or the supply is unitary elastic. An unitary elastic demand or a unitary elastic supply indicate that when the price increases, quantity demanded will decrease by the exact same amount, and the quantity supplied will increase by the exact same amount. In addition, when the price decreases, quantity demanded will increase by the exact same amount, and quantity supplied will decrease by the exact same amount. In other words, there is a proportional responsiveness of quantity to the change in price. If, when finding the price elasticity of demand or the price elasticity of supply, the answer is less than 1, we say that the demand or the supply is inelastic. An inelastic demand or an inelastic supply indicate that when the price increases, quantity demanded will decrease by a lower amount than the change in price, and quantity supplied will increase by a lower amount than the change in price. In addition, when the price decreases, quantity demanded will increase by a lower amount and quantity supplied will decrease by a lower amount. In other words, there is a low responsiveness of quantity to the change in price. The easiest example to think about when speaking about inelastic demand is that of medicines. Of course, when the price of a medicine increases, its quantity demanded will decrease. Nevertheless, it will not decrease by a large amount, since people cannot choose not to buy medicine if they're sick, even if the price rises. The same principle goes for the quantity supplied. It will increase with an increase in price, but not by a large amount. The easiest example to think about when speaking about elastic demand is that of junk food. Of course, when the price of burger increases, for example, its quantity demanded will decrease. In addition, it will decrease by a large amount, since people can always choose other junk food options to replace burgers. The same principle goes for the quantity supplied. It will increase by a large amount with an increase in price. Let's suppose that each copybook costs $5. Since you're taking 10 subjects at school, you decide to buy one copybook for each subject, so 10 copybooks. Now, imagine that you find out before buying that there was a serious problem with the rent of the bookshop, and everything got much more expensive. Each copybook will then cost $10. In this case, you will only be able to buy 5 copybooks, and we'll have to use each one for 2 subjects. The old price was $5 and the new price is $10. The old quantity demanded was 10 units and the new quantity demanded is 5 units. Let us calculate the percent change in quantity demanded and the percent change in price in this case. The percentage change in quantity demanded equals Q2 minus Q1 over half of Q2 plus Q1. So 5 minus 10 over half of 5 plus 10, which is minus 5 over 7.5, which is equal to minus 0.666, which is minus 66.66%. The percent change in price equals P2 minus P1 over half of P2 plus P1. So 10 minus 5 over half of 10 plus 5, which is 5 over 7.5, which is 0.666 or 66.66%. Thus, quantity demanded decreased by 66.66% and price increased by 66.66%. Price and quantity demanded both changed by the exact same amount. This is an example of a unitary elastic demand. Before ending with this chapter, it is important to clarify a misunderstanding common to many students. Elasticity is not the same as the slope. Slope is always equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Thus, in the price versus quantity graph, where the price is in the y-axis and the quantity demanded is in the x-axis, the slope will equal to P2 minus P1 over Q2 minus Q1, while the price elasticity of demand will equal to the new quantity demanded minus the old quantity demanded divided by half the sum of both quantities demanded over the new price minus the old price divided by half the sum of both prices. To try to prove what I said before, let's suppose a situation in which the old price was $5 and the new price is $8. The old quantity demanded was 10 units and the new quantity demanded is 5 units. The slope in this case will equal to 8 minus 5 over 5 minus 10, which is 3 over minus 5, which is minus 0.6. The price elasticity of demand will equal to 5 minus 10 divided by half of 5 plus 10 over 8 minus 5 divided by half of 8 plus 5, which is minus 1.444. This is it from economics for this week. But if you have reached the end of this video, it is because the content is helpful to you somehow. If this is the case, don't forget to give your friends and acquaintances the opportunity to have access to these videos by liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing to this channel. We will be continuing with the second part of this lecture next Wednesday. But before that, I will see you all on Friday with some new finance content. Thank you so much.